All right, awesome. Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Chung-Bluth. I'm lead animator at Volition, and while we're setting up the next talk, I'm here to talk to Jeremy Yates, lead animator at Naughty Dog, Uncharted series, and Jack and Daxter before that.
Jack and Daxter, yeah.
And just everything.
Now Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, and now Last of Us Part 2. That's amazing. So
I feel like we're flying helicopters with these things.
we are.
Yeah, like Airwolf.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. So I had a couple questions. The way these interviews will work is that we've got a whole bunch of animators coming through here. We've got some specific questions we thought were interesting that we wanted to ask everyone to kind of get a good view of kind of where people's heads are at with stuff. So the first question we have is, what inspired you specifically to get into animation?
Actually, honestly, I was really inspired by the stop-motion animation of Ray Harryhausen and Phil Tippett. Like, as a kid, I loved King Kong and Clash of the Titans and, of course, Star Wars and RoboCop, and I just couldn't get enough of those. And I actually started doing stop-motion animation, like action films as a kid with my G.I. Joe figures and do, like, movie trailers and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
who's your favorite G.I. Joe figure?
Curveball. I had a few.
Yeah.
And then when I was 14, I decided I wanted to recreate a scene in RoboCop. So I built this Ed 209 model, and I spent about a year and a half trying to make an armature to actually like make this thing work. And I was tinkering in my garage, and it was so heavy by the end, it wouldn't even stand up straight. So sadly, I had to abandon that project. And but then when I was 19, I got an internship at a game studio in San Diego. And they didn't really have an assignment for me. They were just like, okay, here's a desk, learn how to use the animation software. So I decided I've got an idea. I'm going to model and animate an Ed 209. That's going to be my project. So I did it and learned the software, and I did my little animation, and it ended up getting passed around to different people around the studio. And coincidentally, Orion Pictures comes to the office the very next day, and they were like, PlayStation 1 is coming out. This is back in like 97 or something. And they're like, we want to do a pitch for a RoboCop game for PlayStation 1, and we're looking for a studio that could help us like build this pitch. And the studio was like, well, look what we're working on right now.
That's awesome.
And the next thing I know, I'm lead artist on this little project, and the rest is history. So
wow.
That's what kind of got me in.
That's
and
crazy.
I still have that Ed 209 at my desk at work to this day.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
You got to take a picture of that and like tweet that out, because I want to see that picture.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow. Well, then that kind of leads to our second question, which is, what do you sort of hope to accomplish with the work that you create?
I'd say if I could sum it up into one sentence, what I hope to accomplish in my work is to raise the bar of interactive animation and storytelling. And so, yeah, that's probably a lifelong goal. I don't think I'll ever feel like I'm done with that, but it's just kind of something to always be pushing towards. But I would say probably a single goal within that is I really want to be part of creating moments where the player and the character that they're playing in game, like their emotions are in sync, and it's really hard to do. But when you can kind of achieve that, it's a really powerful thing to experience, because it's like you're living out this character, and it's like you really kind of feel immersed with the story and what's going on. You empathize because you have so much emotional investment and physical investment with this character. And actually, the first time that I'd ever experienced that was during Shadow of the Colossus, at the end, when I had done everything I was supposed to do. I defeat all the Colossi, and like I was there to like revive the girl that I'd done all this for, and I realized I've been betrayed, and like they cast this spell that's trying to like pull me into this vortex, and like I didn't expect that, and I tried so hard. I mean, the wind is blowing, and I'm just like come on, I'm like trying to get to her, and I kept sliding back, and I'm like tumbling back, and I'm like hanging on the steps, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm like my grip is like starting to release, and like, and I just like remember I just like, I can't do this, I can't, like, and I gave up, and it was amazing because it's like I was that character in that moment, and so like it's like stuff like that it doesn't happen often enough because it's incredibly hard. Like you almost have to build the game to these moments. But yeah, like I would love to be part of those types of moments in games.
Yeah. Well, I think the one for me that really hit me was, did you play Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons?
Not the whole thing, but yes.
Okay, well, but there's a moment in that
that
hit me that same way, where you can see that they've sort of built that into the overall system in the gameplay and everything that they've been communicating, and it's great. Okay, I have one last question.
Sure.
What do you think is the most challenging thing you've had to create? Like, what's the most challenging bit of animation or character performance that you've been a part of?
I mean, each have their own challenges. I feel like we never have enough time to kind of go all the way with it. Gosh, the most challenging. Well, I would say I'll just pick a random challenge. In Jak 3, I had animated this big spider boss that was kind of like the last big climax of this game, and this is back on PlayStation 2. We had hardly any memory, and I had to make this custom animation, and it ended up being like 6,000 frames with like all these articulating legs and all this kind of stuff of this big spider thing going around the dunes, and it was all custom, and it was not a lot of time, but it was a lot of fun though. But that was quite a challenge.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy, right? Like so much of it is the I think people would perceive it's like, oh, it's got to be something crazy you guys did on Uncharted, right? Because of so much of the stuff you're doing, blending cinematic and in-game and just the level of polish you hit. But it's always those weird technical hurdles that some of which we've come across, some of which we haven't been able to beat, that just like surprises you, and then it just sticks with you forever.
And Uncharted is full of challenges. I mean, like there's so many that it's like they're all challenging.
Yeah, but I think what's great is it seems like you guys usually have the resources to be able to like push that, and you're one of the studios that are at the forefront of like we're raising the bar, and everyone feels like we're constantly like, oh shit, look what they did. Like we need to do that, and like it's great.
I'd say that's something that I feel really grateful for. Our Sony and our studio heads. Like it's animation has been something that's always been important at the studio, and they've really given us the freedom to really be able to tell stories through that. And,
Awesome, cool. All right, well, thanks, Jeremy. I've appreciated it. It's been a lot of fun. Up next is Lana Baczynski from Blizzard and Simon Unger from Phoenix Labs telling you what it is you haven't learned in your animation school. Thanks a lot.